Over a decade of waiting, 6 failed finals, countless moments watching others lift trophies while he stood as the very symbol of heartbreak. But finally, the day arrived. Harry Kane is no longer the man forever tied to the phrase, "never won a title." The Bundesliga shield Bayern clinched on match day. 32 wasn't just another team achievement for Kane, it was a personal breakthrough. For the first time in his career, he could hold his head high amid fireworks and cheers without carrying the weight of being the nearly man. More than 435 goals across club and country, season after season of carrying teams on his back. At long last, football repaid its debt to Harry Kane. When the final whistle blew in Freiburg, so did a chapter of misfortune. Kane could finally smile, not a resigned grin after a consolation goal, but the full-hearted joy of a man who had just shattered the invisible chains of bad luck. He didn't hide his emotions. How could he? This was everything you'd expect from someone who had lived in the shadow of the word trophyless for too long. No grand stage, no glittering fireworks. Just a moment he had waited for his entire career. His first reaction? A video of him singing, "We Are the Champions," beaming like a kid unwrapping a Christmas gift. He didn't need to say much. A caption, "What a feeling," and a photo with the trophy alongside Eric Dier, Kimmich, and Ose said it all. Kane's face glowed, his eyes glistened, not from champagne, but from the weight of 16 years finally lifted. Then came another video, his teammates dousing him in champagne as he sang Bob Marley's "Three Little Birds." It felt like every ounce of pain had been washed away. Kane, usually reserved, let go, raising his hands, laughing loudly, as if he could finally silence every question like, can a player who's never won a title still be a legend? Even Bayern's media channels paid tribute, calling it a milestone far bigger than a trophy. The word "deserved" doesn't even come close to capturing what this meant. For those who followed his journey, this wasn't just silverware, it was liberation. A moment when fate finally gave in to a man who had fought with nothing but heart and resilience. No more solemn stares after defeat. No more quiet walks off the pitch like in Madrid, Wembley, or Berlin. This was Hurricane unleashed, emotional, unburdened, finally the center of a victory celebration. Not because of stats or goals, but because of a real, tangible title. This was the reaction of someone who knew disappointment all too well, finally feeling what happiness truly meant. And if you asked Kane what he was thinking in that moment, he wouldn't need to answer. The smile, the look in his eyes, the off-key singing, they said everything. After more than a decade of perseverance, after countless bowed heads and near misses, Kane stood tall, soaked in beer, singing Bob Marley's words like a personal mantra, "Everything's gonna be all right." It wasn't just a celebration, it was a rite of passage, and for the first time since turning professional, Kane was living up to the name an entire nation once believed in, Harry the Hero. From being loaned out to Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich, and Leicester, to returning to Spurs in 2014 and redefining the role of a striker in the Premier League, Kane's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. He scored 280 goals in 435 appearances for Tottenham, surpassing Jimmy Greaves to become the club's all-time top scorer. And for England, Kane overtook Wayne Rooney and is now closing in on Alan Shearer's all-time scoring record. But here lies the painful irony. While his stats are monumental, his trophy cabinet remained painfully empty. Between 2014 and 2023, Spurs reached 3 major finals. In the 2015 League Cup, they lost to Chelsea. In the 2019 Champions League final, Kane returned from injury, but couldn't stop a ruthless Liverpool. And in 2021, they fell again in the League Cup, this time to Manchester City. Things weren't much better with England. Defeats to Croatia in the 2018 World Cup semi-final, to Italy in the Euro 2020 final at Wembley, and most recently to Spain in the 2024 Euro final, underlined a pattern of coming close but falling short. 6 finals, 0 wins. And slowly a nickname began to stick. The world-class striker with no crown. Kane could beat any defense except destiny. Even some of his biggest supporters feared he might go the way of Alan Shearer, a legendary scorer, yes, but ultimately a solitary figure. And the cruelest part? Kane deserved so much more. A brilliant career with no silverware becomes fertile ground for bitter jokes. Harry didn't need anyone to label him. The years of near misses did that themselves. The king of second place, a tag no footballer wants, but Kane wore it longer than anyone should have to. And the international media? They weren't any kinder. He scores, he leads, and yet he finishes empty-handed, again. Even the internet hasn't spared him. Type Harry Kane trophy into Google, Twitter, or Reddit, and you'll find a gallery of memes, mocking videos, and bitter stats. They've photoshopped Kane lifting a pizza tray. They've charted his runner-up finishes year by year like it's a punchline, as if he's the official mascot of missed glory. For nearly a decade, Kane turned down offers from more ambitious giants. He stayed at Tottenham, not just out of loyalty, but from a belief that he could write his own legacy at a club that had never truly tasted triumph. For him, it was an ideal. But that same ideal is exactly what stretched the so-called Kane curse all the way to the summer of 2023. And when he finally joined Bayern Munich, the football world split in two. Some cheered with hope, others scoffed with doubt. Because if even Bayern couldn't help Kane lift a trophy, then maybe nowhere could. In August 2023, Harry Kane didn't leave Tottenham out of betrayal. He left because time had made one thing painfully clear. In North London, he'd forever be a monument to heartbreak. Bayern wasn't just another club, it was his escape route. A chance to finally break free from that relentless cycle of almost, but never enough. This was a club built on winning, a squad packed with champions. And yet, even at Bayern, Kane stepped into a strange kind of shadow, one cast not by failure, but by expectation. The world wanted him to win, but deep down, many still doubted. The curse wasn't dead yet, not in their eyes. The 2023/2024 season didn't bring redemption. It brought disaster. Kane kept scoring, relentlessly. He shattered the Bundesliga record for goals in a debut season by a foreign player. But it didn't matter. Bayern crumbled, and the questions began. Did Kane bring his curse to Germany? The irony was brutal. Just months earlier, he was a symbol of hope. Now, he was a scapegoat, a figure of blame for a collapse that wasn't truly his. There was no more time for excuses, no more space for sympathy. The message for 2024/2025 was loud and clear. Break the curse or be consumed by it forever. This time, Harry Kane didn't let fate play its cruel games, because no one is born to fail forever. But few have the patience to walk the long road to redemption. Harry Kane did, not through sudden brilliance, but through unwavering loyalty to his dream, to his journey, and to himself. That silver plate he lifted wasn't just a personal triumph. It was a message to everyone who's ever been mocked, doubted, or left behind for choosing the slower path, the harder path. In a football world obsessed with speed and instant success, Kane chose differently. He chose resilience. He chose silence over spectacle. He chose not to quit. And in the moment of victory, the most powerful image wasn't the trophy above his head. It was the hug with Kimmich beneath a storm of beer. It was the choked-up smile of a man who had fallen countless times, but never stopped believing. Because deep down, everyone who followed his journey held on to a quiet hope that one day football would make things right for Harry Kane. That day came. The curse was broken. A new chapter began. And if there's one lesson to take from the saga of Hurricane, it's this. Perseverance isn't about accepting defeat. Perseverance is about ensuring that when you finally arrive, no one can deny you anymore.